Hi there! Today we're going to look at filters. So if you have ever had any questions on how to create filters, how to use them and how to modify them, this is the video for you. So let's jump right into Jira. Before we jump into Jira, however, I just wanted to show you that this information that you're going to get now in this video is also available in written form over at Atlastic. So in the playbook we have a Jira Software Cloud playbook, and as you can see here we have the Advanced Issue Search view. So this is the article where you can find everything that we're going to talk about in this video. So I'm going to link this page down in the description down below. But enough about that, let's move over to Jira. So now that we are in Jira, we're going to start from your start page. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go up to filters. And we're going to go all the way down to advanced issue search. So this is where you do all your magic. This is the area where we handle our filters. So a quick overview is that we have our old filters or our already created filters. So you have the standard filters at the bottom, we have start filters, and we can also search for filters here. And at the very bottom you can view all filters, and then you will go to the filter page that will show you basically all the filters that you have available for you. But we're going to stay here on the advanced filter page, and it's going to be titled search because it's an advanced search that we are doing. And let's first go over what you see here. You have a save as, is where you can save your filter. You have where you can export the filter, the results that you get down here. You can export them to Microsoft Excel or to Google Sheets. You can share it with someone, so you can actually get a link to it, and you can export it in different formats. And on the three dots you can have the bulk change, which is a very useful thing that you can use if you, for example, search for a number of issues that you want to add a specific label to, or if you want to change the issue type or whatever you want to do. So rather than doing it one by one, we can do a bulk change for that. We can also clear the source, we'll actually reset everything here, and we can also import issues from CSV. Now I'm going to make a separate video for the bulk change and also for how you import CSV. So if you want those, you might want to subscribe to this channel so you see when they come out. Then below this one we also have, this is the actual query that we are making towards our database. And by default you will have project, you will have type, status, assignee, and you will have now the created date. So you can only get the items that you want within a certain time range. And this is referred to as the simple search. And you can add more to it by clicking more. And then you will be able to add all the fields that are available in Jira to you. Just remember, when you select these, just because you can see it doesn't mean that it exists for all projects. So depending on what you select up here, if you have one of these custom fields perhaps, then that might not be available for all your projects, and then you can't use it. You can also search for text within the issue types themselves, and then you have the functionality to switch over to GQL, which means that you go over to advanced mode. So this looks like this. So instead of you having drop downs, you will have a specific query that you can write here instead. So we're gonna go into that a little bit more in detail in a minute. And then you have, so you can change the view here of the result that is down below. So right now I have it on list view, which will show you kind of like an Excel list with the columns that you define. But if you click on detail view instead, that will actually show you the list here, and then you will have the card open on the side. So when you click on the next one, you will see what is in there. So you can switch between these two views as you see fit. And the last part then of this view is that you have the results, and you have columns over here. So the columns that you have down below here in the result is changeable, so you can add or remove columns for it. So the ones that are clicked in here, those are the ones that are currently shown, and you can actually add more if you want by just clicking them and click done, and now they're going to show up here. And you see in this field we have a little arrow that indicates that this one is now sorting on this column. And I could also sort on any other field, and you see you can have ascending or descending, so the arrow will actually change. So that was the quick overview. So how do we use this then? Well, the first thing that we want to do is to make sure that we get the content that we want. And the first thing that you use is the project. So every project that you have access to will actually be shown in this list. And you can select one project or multiple projects. And the second one is the type. And here we have two sections. So you can either have all standard issue types, or you can have all subtask issue types. Then it will fetch them based on the type of issue type that you have. We're going to have a video on the issue types also, what they are and how they are defined within Jira. So you also get them down here, as you can select them one by one. So standard issue types in the default setting of bug, epic, story, and task. And subtask issues then are subtask and subtask. In this case we have two that are named almost the same, and that is because I think it's one of the base applications that have a different naming for it. And the third one we can select are the statuses, and this will be dependent on what status you have based on these two first. So whatever statuses are available in the workflow for the selection that you have done in these two will determine what you will see here. So if I click only done, then I will see only the ones that have been already closed. And the fourth one we can say is assignee, who is assigned to the issues. And one important thing to note is when you look at current user here, and then you see yourself, because you are the current user. But if you select this filter and you take everything that is selected to current user, that will actually change the result based on who's looking at it. So if I look at it, I will see 1, because 1 is assigned to me. And if you look at it, you might have other issues assigned to you, and then it will show different items. So it's important that you understand the current user is whoever is looking at the filter at the moment. And create a date. We can have within the 30 days is standard. You can have minutes, hours, days, and weeks. And you can also have, if it's more than, for example, 1 day. Or between a range. Or you can also have in range, so if it is like this one will say it is more than 1 day. In this one you can say that it is minus 3 weeks, which means it goes back 3 weeks to 1 week, so 1 week forward. So this way you can make a range. And the most common one is that you use the last 30 days, or that you have a range, for example, January 1st to January last. Just remember that if you use this create a date this way, then you will have to change it every time. So if you want to have this as a report, or a monthly report, for example, then every time you go in, you need to switch this if you have within a date. And if you have the last 30 days, not all months have 30 days, so then again you need to change that. So there's another way to do this, and I'm going to show that in another video, how you can make this so you have from the first day of the month to the last, and so it will never need to be updated. But this is how you use the standard fields, and you can also create more. So we could add resolution, for example. and then you will get all the resolution that is defined in the system. You could add, what else can we have? We can have description is pretty useless. We can have that is flagged, for example. So we can say everything that is flagged, I want to see those. So basically in the plus more here you can add as many as you want, but the more you add, the more granular also your search will become. And you can click here to remove them, and you can search for it here. So if I want to have, for example, a reporter, then it will actually show up here, and I can say that I want to have everyone that I'm reporter for. So that's it, and that's how these fields work. If you move over to the advanced searching instead in GQL, then it might look, this looks scary. If you have never done queries before, this might look terrible for you. But don't worry about it, because this is actually a smart field. So we start from scratch, and then we can say I want to have everything from a certain project. I will then type project, and as you can see, you will get help when you start. So if I click on this one and I do a space, then I will get now the operator that will come next. And I can do again just a space, and then it will select what projects are available. So if you just use the space and wait a little bit, then you can probably figure out most of how this works. And there's an article for this one, how the GQL queries work. That is also in the Atlastic playbook for Jira Software Cloud. But this works exactly the same. So if I do and here, and I want to have assignee is me. There we go. And if I switch back to basic now, you will see that these are now pre-filled. Oh, I selected something that was wrong apparently. There we go. And if I go to GQL, you will see now. And if you saw when I did it the first time, we did have a name here. And now it will change instead into sort of an ID. And it also adds now ordered by. So anytime you have a query that is ordered by, and that is these columns that will actually be, in this case, it's reported in descending, and also created descending. So it will actually have the date, and this one will also be descending. So that was a very quick walkthrough of how you can filter different items. I'm going to remove all of this. So we have everything. Let's just take company managed so we can have everything for that. So we have 15 items here. So, and now that I have found the items I want to work with, I can now save this as a filter. And this is very useful because there are many areas in Jira where you use filters. Boards, for example, use filters. You have them in dashboards, in different widgets, and so on. So keeping a filter is usually a good thing if it's something that you work with a lot. So the first thing we want to do is to save this so we can have it available for us. So we just go to Save As, and we give it a name. Let's call it Demo. And now you will see that it has changed the name to Demo, and it will automatically start. So if I click on that one, it will remove from start, and if I add it, it will return there as well. So it's usually a good idea to store them, the ones that you want to have quickly available here. Otherwise, you need to go to View All Filters to find them. Every time you create a filter yourself, and every time you save that filter, it will automatically be private, so only you can actually see it. So in order for you to share this, if you want to have it in a widget or in a board, then you need to go to Details. And this one only show up after you have saved it. So once you see this one, it means that you now have ownership of it and you can actually do anything with it. So clicking on details, you will see now that it's owned by me, and you will see the permission. So you see here the filter is only visible by me, so only I can see it and only I can edit it. And then you can edit the permissions. And this, when you click on details, you also have subscriptions. So we're going to check on that next. But first, let's edit the permissions. What we can do here is we can add a description, and we can also we can set viewers or editors. So in this case, we're going to change from private, and we're going to say that let's say everyone can see this. So we go to my organization and we click add. Then we can have so everyone in the organization can see it. And I want to have a specific group. Let's see, site admins can edit. In this case, I can add that. So now everyone in my organization can see it, and everyone who is a site admin can edit this one. Now I can save that. And if I go now to details, you will see that it has been updated. Any logged in user can see it, and site admins can now edit it. Now what I can do with this as well is I can go to subscriptions. And what subscriptions do is that I can send this list out, this filter out on regular interval. So this could be useful, for example, if you have a filter for incidents, for example, recent incidents. So then you can have a daily mail that goes out every morning at 9, or you can say it at 8, depending on what time you start. And you can say that it's sent out once a day. This way you get an email every morning at 8, and it shows you every incident that you currently have. And you can also choose if you want to have an email or not. If you click this one, then you will email the filter even if it's empty. So then it will actually give you an empty email that says no issues found. And if you don't click in this one, then you won't get an email. So if there are no issues in this filter, then you won't get an email. And you can choose between a personal subscription, or you can have it connected to a group. I suggest you always use personal subscription so you don't piss anyone off, because it's easy to annoy people with this one, especially if you do it every 15 minutes all day, and say that if you haven't fixed this one by 12 today, you're going to get an email every 15 minutes. That's a good way to make people annoyed, so don't do that. But the personal subscription, you can have it daily, or you can also select what days you want to have it. So if you just want to have it on Mondays and Fridays, then you can do that. And then once per day is what I suggest for most cases, so you don't spam yourself or others. And then once you set that one, I can do like this. Then this one now will be, you will see that you have one subscription that is for me, and I can set up additional ones if I want to have for more people. And then I can set up so every site admin get one, and they will come back to you and haunt you for the rest of your life for spamming them. Or you can also manage the one that you have under manage subscriptions. And then you can see then which ones are available. You can edit them, and then you get this one again. You can delete them, or you can run them now if you want them to be run, if you want to test them, for example. In this case, I'm going to delete them because otherwise I'm going to get emails. There we go. So I think that was it. If you have any questions on what else you can do by setting up filters or how you can use them, then I will try to explain it in more details. And then, like I said, I'm going to show you how bulk change works, and also show you how you can import issues from another system, for example, or if you have them in Excel, if you want to bring them into Jira, in another video, or two videos actually. So if you want to see more content like this, or if you want to just keep tabs on these 2 new videos, then subscribe to this channel. And until then, I just wish you have a very good day.